When'd you get that TV?
You said when or where?
When?
Right after, what's that thing called? Thanksgiving? Right around Thanksgiving?
You're at 109 right now.
Black Friday.
Yeah. So, man, that sucks because. All right, for that last segment, I was filming on 24 frames per second, which is the average for a movie. That's what we've been watching most of our movies on 24 frames per second. However, when you upload videos to YouTube, I think the standard is 60 frames per second. So there's going to be some conflict. So if I don't have video for that last segment, then we'll have video for this segment because I might have to scrap that 24 thingamajig. But anyway,
Okay, I got a question for you. Let's say that you had a kid, you had a son, and he's 17 years old, and he asked you, he likes a girl, and she asked him if he could pay for her to get her hair done. What would you say?
I'll say, son, do you have a job?
Okay, let's say he has a job. He makes, let's say he makes $300 a week. She wants $300.
She wants 1 week's worth of his money to pay for something that.
Yeah, she wants something stupid.
Oh man, son, that's a lot of money. Do, who is this woman to you? I don't know. I think kind of instinctually I was like, son, don't spend any money on that woman if she's not your wife. If she's not,
Wife, I would say, son, is she sucking dick? How much dick is she sucking out here? Cause like, if she ain't like sucking the soul out of you, I don't see the point. I'm paying for women just to be paying for women for what? For who? Nah, you don't owe nobody nothing. What's in it for the my lifelong uh theme for my child is what's in it for me? What do you get out of doing her hair? So what? She was getting her hair done before she met you.
right,
Now if she's sucking the soul out of you,
right,
and you want to keep your main eater happy,
right.
hey, you might have to throw a couple of dollars every now and then. You know, you got to be practical out here. But other than that, what's the point? That would be my advice. Now I want to transition into something else. The state of California is a piece of shit. We live in Southern California, which might as well be northern fucking Mexico with all these slow ass Mexicans around. So I'm doing my mail because my bitch wife doesn't bring the mail in. So I get my mail, and apparently the state of California says I haven't paid for my tags. Okay, but that's not true because they don't send the tags until you pay for them. So I opened it up. They said I bounced a check. I've written in the past 10 years maybe 3 checks. You know what happens when I have to write a check? I have to go in my secret stash of papers, pull out my checkbook, then go on the internet and look up how to write a fucking check again. Then I write the check and I put the shit back. The last check I wrote was for my passport to the U.S. government. So I know I didn't pay these people in a check, so I know a check didn't bounce. So I called the state of California yesterday online on hold for 20 minutes. Then they call me back 3 hours later. Fucking Mexican gets on the phone. Yeah, you have to talk to these other people because we don't deal with the checks. We just called to see what you wanted. So on Monday, I gotta hopefully get a call from these other people explaining to me how I bounced a check that I never wrote. All of my dealings and here's the thing, the state of California actually charges you a service fee to pay with a credit card. So they charge me for the fucking tags, and then they charge me a service fee, and now they want to charge me an extra $100 because they say all the shit is late and I bounced a check. I hope this state catches on fire and floats in the middle of the fucking ocean. I hope it tears itself apart with racial strife and rioting the minute I leave this shithole. This is an awful place full of awful people. Don't come to California.
All right.
There's
So,
no jobs out here. It's northern fucking Mexico. Every time here's another thing. If you go to any like Albertsons or Vons adjacent to a Hispanic neighborhood, invariably there will be an old fucking Mexican in line who will never have done a transaction in her life before. So she's trying to figure out, I don't know how money works. I don't know what the fuck she's doing. So whenever I go to a line, I see which one doesn't have an old Mexican in it. Okay, then that's the one I choose.
dude, could you not like have Archie Bunker, like your borderline, if not mainstream bigoted talk? Like, Lord have mercy.
Should I not say it or should I not experience it?
Oh my gosh. Now, my gripe with California is like a year or two ago, a couple years ago now, I went to the DMV in Downey. I don't live in Downey. I was out that way. It was the nearest DMV. I needed to maybe pay for my tags, maybe do something. But I go to this predominantly Latino community. I stand in no. I'm college educated.
Are you?
I'm an educated citizen. I'm a dutiful citizen, and I walk in. I read the signs that are posted, and I make my way and I stand in the line. When I get to the counter, this damn woman, she's of Latin descent, who's probably an immigrant or a first or second generation, American, probably first, but she's got a job. She's got a job and she's working at the DMV. Tells the lone black man who was standing in the line, "Did you stand over there? Like, who told you to get into this line?" And all of this kind of stuff. And I'm saying to myself, "But I read the signs and this is the line that I need to be in, blah, 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 blah." And I'm thinking to myself, how dare you just decide, oh, the black one needs to be orientated on how we do things here, talking down to me. And I was like, "Excuse you?" I was like, "No, I'm where I need to be." So then she proceeds to demand that I show her, ID. Like, "Okay, well, give me your ID now." And I'm like, this bitch doesn't know that I have been a customer with. No, excuse me. This wasn't the DMV. Sorry.
Oh my god.
This is even worse. It wasn't the DMV. It's AAA. So AAA means that you're a member and you're supposed to be treated like a member. All right. So there I am, being treated like I have no business being in there, and the woman's demanding, my ID, and then she's asking me, "What do you want? Like, what the hell are you here for?" And I tell her I need my tags or I need something like this. So then she looks into the system, finds my information, and then the question comes up, "Well, how are you gonna pay?" And I'm like, "I have my card right here. We're gonna use my card." So there was just this rude, presumptive nature of hers, and then so I pay for everything, and I'm like, I'm looking at her like, what was all that attitude? What was all of this for? I'm here to get my business taken care of. I got it taken care of. She processed me out. Then she has the nerve at the end of the transaction to say to me, for being a customer, like I'm a new customer, she's like, "At the AAA, we give you this. Here's a new bag and here's some merchandise." And she put like this little bag together, and I was like, "I don't want any of this garbage. I don't want any marketing, unsolicited. None of this bullshit. Just keep that." That was my feeling. But I was just like, wait a minute. And then the worst part about it was, I was like, I hate that she didn't even know. She didn't even presume. She didn't even think. Maybe he speaks Spanish. Maybe I can talk to him in Spanish. She just went to, "Oh, he's black. He doesn't know. probably not a customer. He does, she went.
Well,
through
why
all of
would
this.
you want her to speak to you in Spanish? That is completely dumb.
No, no.
First
no,
of
no.
all, you don't speak fluent Spanish.
Puedo
So
hablar español y trato de hablar español a veces.
you
I try.
once again, you do not speak fluent Spanish. So she spoke to you in the language that you're fluent in. And then she gave you whatever promotional bullshit she's supposed to hand out to customers at the end of the interaction. All you had to say was no, I don't want it, and just walk off.
All I know
Just
is
say no, thank you, and just you had your card back, just leave.
why. Okay, then what about the asking me about how I got into this line? The signs clearly say, and the other people were lining up. There was only one line, and it was just a matter. So they have this system where you walk in, you stand behind this line, and then someone directs you, right? Well, no one was there to direct. Everyone was busy. I stood there for a minute waiting for instructions. I looked at the signs and I said, "Oh, that's where I need to go." So I went over into that line.
Yeah, I get it, but
And she's all, how did you get over here? What did you do? I'm like, hey.
yeah, just tell her relax. Go, hey, just chill out.
So
Just relax yourself and let's get to it.
at that time, at that moment, I was upset. I thought to myself, she doesn't know that I have learned her language. Regardless
that's
of
irrelevant.
regardless of how much I have, no, there should be cultural sensitivity. There should be customer sensitivity.
No, it shouldn't be cultural sensitivity. You're a paying customer. That's the beginning and the end of it.
But when
And if you didn't feel like you got the service that you deserved, you should have spoke to her boss. But the fact that you may or not speak Spanish is irrelevant. The fact that you were there to do business is all she needed to know.
the lady and the problem that I had is when walking into these establishments, there's that. Yes, can I help you? What do you want? That I get. Whereas if a Latino walks in, it's oh hola cómo estás? Oh, buenos días. Oh.
What do you care?
That type of shit.
Like you want to have a fake interaction with some Mexican. Just do the business. I like it. I want him to call me sir. Hello, sir. How are you today, sir? What can I do for you, sir?
Yeah.
And then I'll go,
Yeah.
I want this,
Right.
and this. And then if they want to talk about chicharron or whatever the fuck they talk about with the Mexican behind me, great.
No. You're right. That's what I'm saying. There's a lack of the sir. There's completely a lack of that. I'm gonna give you another example. I'm in Costa Rica now.
Oh my God.
This was a few months ago. I walk into. All right, so in Costa Rica, across the street from the airport, there's a Denny's.
All right.
Next to the Denny's, there's this.
Denny's is racist here. Why would you go to another country and expecting it to be different?
I didn't go to the Denny's. I'm just giving the location. So next to the Denny's, across the street from the airport, there's this like little taco Mexican type of thing, where it's in Costa Rica. That's not the national foods, but that's what they're serving. They're serving like some Mexican dishes. So I'm like, all right, like some grilled chicken and whatever. So I'm like, maybe they have some better food than that Denny's. I don't want to go into a Denny's anyway. So I go into the spot. I sit down and I wait. Nobody greets me. They look in my direction and they're looking at me like, what does he want? What's going on? Finally, someone approaches me and they're like, okay. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, all right, let me get this and that and the third, right? So finally, he looks at me and he's like, oh, okay, you want to order something? Oh, okay. So he writes my order down. I'm like, what the hell did you think I came in here for? What the hell do you think I've been sitting at this table waiting?
Well,
Wait.
Okay, go ahead. This story's boring, but go ahead.
So what happens is, while he's taking my order, two white guys walk in, and he turns from me and he said, "Oh, welcome, come on in, have a seat. I'll be right with you in a moment." All of this, and I'm like, there was a complete shift in the amount of energy. There was a 180-degree turn. For me, it was dead, just dead, and then with them, oh, hey, turn the lights on. Get the band playing. You guys, we're happy to see you. Come on, we know what you're here for. This guy, we don't know what he's here for.
If you feel like if it's that stark, then
Yes.
just get up and walk out. That's what I would do.
It's something that I've come to experience often, and it's kind of like all right, if you're in New York and you're a black man and you can't catch a cab, what do? Pick up and leave the state? Because that's a real issue. That's a real
It
experience.
is not an issue.
It's a real experience.
It was, but now you just use your Uber and or Lyft and keep it moving. That's why I like that. It's funny, like those medallions in New York City cost like $250,000, and people were taking like mostly like white people and immigrants. They didn't give black men shit. So most of these white men and immigrants were getting these medallions or whatever and taking loans against them and whatever. And then Uber and Lyft came in and destroyed the business, and they're crying and complaining. I love it because they weren't picking up black men anyway, so fuck them.
Right.
Oh, the girl I talked about in the other segment, her name was Sharika Soul. She was in a porno called Ghetto Gaggers to complete her fucking story of filth.
Wait a minute. The Haitian girl that you were talking
Yeah.
about?
She was
in
supposedly she was in a porn called Ghetto Gaggers. There's a screenshot of her performing,
Oh, well.
but like,
Well, she's made a series of poor decisions, obviously.
yeah, but that's the whole thing. But they're all the fault of black men.
Right.
Yeah, it's all our fault.
She turns around and says, "No, well, you guys are to blame." All right, so let's shift gears and talk about Richie Mack and zoom to Thailand.
You know what? It's funny. Me and you, well, maybe not so much you, but remember there was a dinner party when we lived in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
and some ugly black women came, and we had the same sort of conversation, and it just reminded me because I watched some of that Richie Mack thing, but then I was like, why would you go to the other side of the planet to have horrible conversations with birds you spent thousands of dollars trying to get away from? Like when I'm overseas, I don't even speak to black women. I go out of my way. Like if a black woman talked to me, I would pretend to speak a different language just so I wouldn't have to interact with her.
Okay, wait. So you're talking about Richie Mack's recent video where he was like arguing with a black woman about these issues that we face, that black men face in America, and what causes us to travel so far. And there he was in Thailand talking to a black woman who was arguing her
On the same bullshit. And it was funny because like his cute little Thai chick, she saw the vibes and she left the room. She was like, ugh. I felt so bad for him. I'm like, I couldn't imagine. I guess it's like for content.
Absolutely.
Like he kept the conversation going. But I would be like, that's why we're over here. We don't like you. You talk like this. Nobody wants to hear this. Like people, like black men in America that are stuck in the matrix, they got to put up with this nonsense conversation. But I'm in paradise with a Thai baddie that washes my drawers and cooks my dinner, and you over here with your feminist nonsense, and your husband is miserable. And he looks at my woman and my lifestyle, and then he goes home with you, and he hates himself. You know, Thailand is perfect except you live here. That's what I would have said.
Oh my god.
I would have said, I'm sure he's trying to figure out how to get divorced in Thailand. I was like, even for like $60, he could just like get a prostitute for the night that's more pleasant than you.
Oh man.
$60. That's all it would cost. You're a horrible, horrible woman. Damn, all I heard was blah, 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 blah.
Oh man.
You're at 109 right now.
Since the video cut out, we gotta stop this. Let me get in, and then just do audio for the next one, or we'll just pick up from just audio.